Welcome back to the Gamekeeper's Cottage Diaries. Welcome back to Gamekeeper's Cottage. It's the end of the first week of February, a rather grey and dreary typical February day here in the UK. And I'm back in the UK for a long weekend, and we're going to do some February gardening, tidying up jobs that need to be done, and then later on in the video we'll have a little bit of a plot tour around the gardens and just see how much stuff is coming to life here at Gamekeeper's Cottage as we reach into the spring of 2025. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is cutting back the raspberry bush that you can see in front of us. So this is an autumn fruiting raspberry bush, which means that it fruits on the new growth from the year, which is why we cut it back around about this time during the dormant season. So let's start. I'm going to remove, as I put my gloves on, remove the poles from last year, because we won't need those for the moment. This one is actually tied in, but it should come out. There we go. So with the autumn fruiting plants, you cut them right back to about an inch from the ground. So I've got my secateurs here, so I'm going to cut them back down to about here. So this shoot here that has sprung out. It looks a bit drastic, but as I say, it will grow from the new growth. We will get the plants, the fruits, in the autumn. So that's that cutting back done. I will just now do a bit of weeding to get rid of some of the grass that's here. Okay, so while we're down here in the orchard and vegetable area, let's just have a little look around. As I said, it is early February, so at the moment the apple trees here are not really showing much sign of life. As we wander over into the proper part of the orchard, here you can see the two soft fruit trees that we planted last year, the nectarine here, and if you actually look as I get right in close, if it will focus, it won't really focus, but you can probably see here we do have the first few signs of new growth. And as we come over here to the apricot, not so much signs of new growth on this. Similarly with the apple and pear trees, very little going on at the moment. But as we wander around away from the fruit trees onto the edge of the orchard, you will see a little clump of daffodils here starting to come up. They should be displaying their flowers in a month or so. And also down in here, yet more of them. But I'll continue on now round the rest of the garden, and we'll take a look at what else is growing. Continuing round into the back garden, let's have a look round here and just see what signs of life we've got in early February. So we'll walk over to the back fence first. See here we've got the couple of hedging plants. These were more mature hedging plants that we planted probably a year and a half ago now. I think they are 2 hawthorns at the front. Yep, that's 2 hawthorns there. And then at the back we have a hazel. I will come back to this area in a future video. We do have plans for this area now. But let's wander along to the main hedge. Obviously we've got all the hedging plants along here, which are about a year old now. It was about a year ago, end of January, early February 2024, that we planted the 100 hedging plants. But as you can also see now, if we just look down in here, we have got a few of our spring bulbs that we planted late last year starting to come up. And then in this area we have an abundance of daffodils growing. So these are old daffodils, they've been here for a number of years, but we did also plant a few other bulbs in here last year. So later in the year we'll see what else actually comes up. A lot of the taller ones are definitely mature daffodils, but there are some smaller plants also starting to emerge. And again, in here, I think that is something we've planted and not just a weed. We'll come back to that in future. And similarly, in here we've got a few green shoots coming up. Another set of mature daffodils under the bush there. And then coming round to this part of the hedge border, you can see again some green growth coming up there. More of the spring bulbs. This area is still very overgrown by grass, but again you can see down in there and over there more of the spring bulbs emerging for their first year, and a few more there, and also some round at this end. This part of the hedge needs a lot of work done on it to, at the very least, get the border of it marked and remove all the grass. But now let's finish this tour by wandering around and having a look in the stable yard. So around here on this side of the property, obviously we have the mature hedge running down the side. At the moment it is still very much in winter mode. No new buds really coming through yet, but hopefully all of that will change within a month or two as we start seeing all of the mature plants, hedge plants, starting to bud and flower. And then this end of the stable yard we need to do a lot of work on. Obviously we have got the hedge plants that we planted. There's one of them there, you can see the label. So these were planted, I think, a year and a half ago. These weren't planted as bare root, these were planted as mature plants. So I think they were done probably during the early summer, maybe the autumn, I can't remember, of 2023. So these will be getting on for 2 years old now, and as you can see, this one in particular is about 6 foot tall, and many of the others similarly inside the massive brambles. We are starting to form a bit of a hedge with them, but they probably could do with a bit of care. But that's probably all we need to look at now at this time of the year. There's not much going on in February. Things aren't really starting to come to life yet. But I'll see you in the next video. All that remains is for me to thank you for watching, and to ask that if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and join us in the comments below to help the channel grow. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.